Assalamu alaikum, dear students. In this lecture, we are going to study the application of propositional logic, which we learned in last section, section 1.1, and this lecture is about section 1.2. So before starting the section formally, let's have a look at precedence of logical operators, that is the order of logical operators in propositions. So first of all, if we have a compound proposition, and we'll operate this negation operator, and then we'll operate this and or operators, and then implications, conditional state operator and biconditional operator. Now there is an example of order of the operators, how this order can change the meaning of the compound proposition. So if we see a compound proposition written in this form, P or Q implies negation R. So we actually consider it as P or Q implies negation R. So this is equivalent to P or Q implies negation R. If the intended meaning is P or Q implies negation R, then parentheses must be used. If parentheses are not used, then we'll consider it as the first proposition. So this is how order matters, and it can completely change the meaning of the compound proposition if we change the order. So in section 1.2, this is the summary of the section. We'll learn how to translate English sentences to propositional logic, and then we'll define system specifications, and we'll have a couple of examples for this, and then there is a logic puzzle. So first of all, translating English sentences. So steps to convert an English sentence to a statement in the propositional logic are following. So first of all, what we need to do, we have to identify atomic propositions and represent using propositional variables. That is, if we have a long statement in English, we have to identify small propositions and then represent all these smaller propositions with the variables. Secondly, determine appropriate logical connectives in order to convert these sentences into logical expressions. So here is an example. If I go to Harry's or to the country, I will not go shopping. So there are three small propositions used in this sentence. I go to Harry's. This is the first one. So let's assign the variable P to this statement. I go to country. This is another statement, and let's assign Q to this statement. I will go shopping. I will not go shopping is actually negation of this statement. So I will go shopping. This is another statement, and let's assign variable R to this statement. So this is how we identified atomic propositions and then assigned variable to these propositions. Now, read this sentence again so that we can write it in form of a logical sentence in propositional logic. So P, that is if P, if I go to Harry, if P or to the country, right? If I go to Harry or to the country, that is P or Q. Then, this comma means then. I will not go shopping. If then statements actually is a conditional statement. So P or Q implies negation R. So this is the required propositional statement, right? There is another example. Translate the following sentence into propositional logic. So you can access the internet from campus only if you are computer science major or you are not a freshman. So they are few statements You can access internet from campus. This is one of the proposition. Let's assign variable to this. A. You can access internet from the campus. So let's assign the proposition variable A. Only if you are computer science major. This is another statement. You are computer science major. So let's assign a variable C to this statement. You are not a freshman. So you are a freshman. You are a freshman. We assign it the variable F, right? Now we'll try to translate it into propositional logic. So read it again. You can access the internet from campus only if you are computer science major or you are not freshman. That is, if you want to access the internet from campus, then you must be a computer science major or you are not a freshman. So in this way, you can write this English sentence into this form. A implies C or negation F. You are not a freshman means negation of F, because F represents you are freshman. So this is another example. System specifications. So system specifications, system and software engineers take requirements in English and express them in a precise specification language based on logic. So express in propositional logic, the automated reply cannot be sent when the file system is full. Again, we have to identify the small statements in this English sentence and assign the variables to the propositions, and then we'll convert this sentence into propositional logic. So let P denote the automated reply can be sent, right? The automated reply can be sent. So cannot be sent is actually negation of P. So P denote that the automated reply can be sent. The file system is full. So file system is full. Let's assign another variable Q to this statement, the file system is full. Now read this in order to convert it into a logical sentence. The automated reply cannot be sent when the file system is full. That is, if the file system is full, then the automated reply cannot be sent. So it means Q implies negation P. Okay, next definition, and this definition is about a consistent system. A list of propositions is consistent if it is possible to assign truth value to the proposition variables so that each proposition is true. If we have a system of propositions, we have more than one propositions, and they involve some propositional variables, the system of all the propositions is said to be consistent if we are able to find the truth values of the propositions involved in the system, such that the system under consideration gives us the truth value which is true for every proposition involved in the system. So a list of proposition is consistent if it is possible to assign truth values to the proposition variables so that each proposition is true. Now there is an exercise. Are these specification consistent? So we have three statements. If we are able to find the truth value of the proposition involved in these statements for which every statement is true, then we will say that this system is consistent. Otherwise, this system is not consistent. So that diagnostic message is stored in the buffer or it is retransmitted. The second statement is the diagnostic message is not stored in the buffer. Third, if the diagnostic message is stored in the buffer, then it is transmitted. So you can see that the smaller statements used in all three statements are two. That is, one of them is diagnostic system is stored, right? So let's assign variables. The diagnostic system is stored in the buffer. Let's assign a variable P to this statement. And there is another statement. The diagnostic message is transmitted, right? So let's assign the variable Q to this statement. The diagnostic message is transmitted. Now let's translate these sentences into propositional logic. So according to these variables, the first statement can be written as P or Q, because the diagnostic message is stored in the buffer or it is retransmitted, right? Diagnostic message is not stored in the buffer. So this is actually negation of P. If the diagnostic message is stored in the buffer, then it is transmitted. That is, P implies Q. Now, this system is consistent if we are able to find the such truth values of P and Q for which all these statements are true. If this is not going to happen, then this system is not consistent. So let's try. Let's start with P false. P false. So if P is false, then negation P is true, right? If P is false, negation P is true. Now, if P is false, then in order to make P or Q true, Q must be true. So let's assign Q truth value true to Q. Now let's see for these assignment, that is P is false and Q is true. P implies Q is also true, because P implies Q is false only when P is true and Q is false. So here P is false, Q is true. This means P implies Q is also true. So this assignment of truth values actually make this system consistent, because all three statements are true for this assignment. So this is how we can conclude that this system is consistent. So next, what if the diagnostic message is not transmitted, is added? So we have already three specifications which are given by these three statements, and we are going to add another specification. The diagnostic message is not transmitted. The diagnostic message is not transmitted means negation of Q. So we are going to add negation of Q as well. So now we are adding negation Q, and there is no satisfying assignment, so the specification is not consistent. So now we have four statements, so we are not able to assign truth values to P and Q for which all four are true. So in this case, system is not consistent. Well, there is a logic puzzle. An island has two kinds of inhabitants: knights who always tell the truth, right? Knights who always tell the truth. This is very important to remember while solving this puzzle. And there are knaves who always tell lie. So you go to the island and meet two persons, A and B. A says B is a knight, and B says the two of us are of opposite types, right? So question here is, what are the types of A and B? So let's assign two variables. First of all, P and Q be the statements. A is knight and B is knight respectively. So if P means A is knight, then negation P means A is knave. Similarly, if Q is assigned to the statement B is knight, then negation Q means B is knave. That is, B is not knight, then B is knave. Right? So this is the assignment of the variables to the statements. So then there are two possibilities, right? First, let's assume that A is knight. Now, since A is knight, and knights are, or the knights always tell truth, right? Then this statement that B is knight is true. Okay? If A is knight, B is also true and Q is also true. A is knight, we are going to assume that A is knight. If A is knight, then P is true, right? Since knights always tell truth and A says B is knight, it means Q is also true. Then P and negation Q or negation P and Q would have to be true. Right? P and negation Q or negation P and Q would have to be true, but both are knights. How can P and negation Q is true? Because if P is true and Q is true, negation Q is false. So similar is the case in this proposition. If P is true, then negation P is false. So false and true is false. So false or false is also false. But this is not true. So A is not knight. So if we assume that A is knight, then why this must be true? Let me tell you. Because we assume that A is knight, this proved that B is knight. Now since B is knight, B also tells truth. And B is saying that two of us are of opposite sides. Two of us are opposite sides mean P and negation Q is true. Right? Or negation P and Q is true. But we can see that this is not true. I hope you got my point. So A is not a knight. So our assumption that A is a knight is wrong, because A is a knight leads us to a contradiction. So A is knight is not true. That is, A is knave. Or you may say P is not true. That is, negation P must be true. So let's see what is the next case. Next case, if A is knave. Now since A is knave, knaves always lie, right? Then B must not be a knight, because A says B is a knight and A is a liar. So B must not be a knight, right? So then both negation P and negation Q hold. That is, A is knave is negation P as our assumption. Where is the assumption? Yes, negation P. Negation P represents A is knave. Right? So we are going to assume A is knave. That is, we assume that negation P is true. Then B must not be a knight. since knaves always lie. So negation P and negation Q both hold. So this means because both are knives, both are knaves, sorry, both are knaves. So from this we can conclude that, finally, we can conclude that A and B both are knaves. So this is the conclusion. So that's all for today.